and thank you all for coming to what is clearly a star-studded panel tonight. My name is Gabrielle Steinhauser. I'm a correspondent for the Wall Street Journal in Brussels, and I'm very, very pleased to have this great panel today to discuss this very, very important question of future of the European Monetary Union. As a journalist who covers this very, very closely, I will say that it has been rather frustrating in the last few months because nothing seems to be really moving. A few years ago, we were talking quite in detail about some very exciting concepts for the Eurozone, such as its own budget, its own finance minister. And all these ideas seem to have kind of stepped into the background. And I'm really hoping that today here with this panel, we can give a new impetus to the debate. And I've asked everybody to be as provocative as possible. So I'm really excited for some new ideas. And on the panel today, we have with us the European Commission's Vice President for the Euro, Valdis Dombrovskis, and the Slovak Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, Peter Kazimír, who I, as a Brussels-based journalist, will say always makes the best comments on the doorstep. Lots of loves, lots of great quotes. He has a high profile in Europe, I will tell you that. Next to him, we have the Austrian Finance Minister, Hans-Jörg Schelling, who also makes us very happy on the doorstep very often, so thank you for that. And then finally, we have the Maltese Finance Minister, Skikluna, who I sometimes call Dr. Doom because he has been known to make some rather gloomish statements, but hopefully we'll find some positive ideas from him today. And then finally, Guntram Wolf, who's the head of the Bruegel think tank in Brussels, which is turning 10 years this year. And we're very pleased to have him. He's always one of the great and thoughtful voices on this. Now I will ask the Vice President to take the floor and deliver his keynote address, and then we will come back to the panel.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank for this invitation and for a possibility to participate in TATRA summit and to address the issue of deepening economic and monetary union. Europe has gone through serious financial and economic crisis recently, but it must be said that euro area is emerging from this crisis more resilient. And there are a number of things we are having now, which we were not having just 5 years ago in terms of euro area's ability to withstand financial and economic shocks. So we have strengthened EU economic and budgetary rules. We now coordinate our policies throughout the year within the framework of European semester. And this was something which was largely absent before the crisis. There was Stability and Growth Pact. Unfortunately, many countries were not following the rules of Stability and Growth Pact, and not much happened as a consequence. So now we really have much more robust fiscal and macroeconomic governance framework. We also have an effective financial backstop, European Stability Mechanism, to help euro area countries in financial difficulty. And we have a banking union to stabilize our banking sector and to ensure that taxpayers are not first in line to pay for the mistakes in a banking sector. And the European Central Bank is using its monetary policy tools to the full potential. Just to give one example, it was famous Mario Draghi's Whatever It Takes, which helped to stop financial instability in euro area. And whatever it takes was referring to the outright monetary transactions, so European Central Bank's commitment to purchase member states' bonds in a secondary market in unlimited quantities if necessary. And several months ago, European Court of Justice actually confirmed outright monetary transactions being in line with the ECB mandate. And actually, we saw a more resilient euro area during the recent crisis in Greece. Unlike the situation in 2010, 2011, there was no domino effect, and despite the very turbulent and very difficult negotiations, there were very few spillover effects to other euro area countries, and the stability of the euro area was not in question. Then, to come to the question of economic developments, we are now seeing Europe's economy growing. In fact, just some minutes ago, European Commission published its autumn economic forecast, showing that we continue to have modest economic recovery, but this recovery is gradually strengthening in both euro area and in EU 28. But this growth is to the extent backed by temporary factors, such as low energy prices, low euro exchange rate, which is helping EU's exporters, and ECB's accommodative monetary policy, including quantitative easing. And the recovery is still vulnerable to external shocks. So we now must use the time which we have due to those temporary positive factors. We must use this time wisely to reform the structure of our economies. As also Mario Draghi has outlined, that you cannot solve structural problems in the economy only with monetary policy tools. And we need to go further and to make the final steps to make economic and monetary union more durable, more stable, and to ensure that it lives up to its potential. So the report of the 5 presidents of the 5 EU institutions on the completing the EMU shows the way. It presents a vision and a roadmap for completing the economic and monetary union by 2025. And it underlines the need for economic and social convergence. This means bringing economic and social levels across Europe closer together and closer to the best performers. So to have a convergence towards the top, not race to the bottom. And with convergence, we mean convergence both within and between or among member states. So progress needs to be done in parallel on 4 fronts. First, towards a genuine economic union that ensures that each economy has structural features to prosper within the EMU. Second, towards financial union to increase the risk sharing with the private sector, complete banking union, and accelerate capital markets union. Third, towards fiscal union to deliver both fiscal sustainability and fiscal stabilization. And first, towards stronger political union, including stronger democratic accountability, legitimacy, and institutional strengthening. It's an ambitious project. It will not happen overnight, but we can make progress already now. 2 weeks ago, the European Commission put forward a package of initiatives that can be taken within the existing treaty and within existing legal basis, something what we call deepening by doing. And we see these initiatives as a stepping stones towards a second stage for a more far-reaching measures to complete the EMU. So now let me mention the most important initiatives. On economic governance. We propose to improve the rules and mechanisms we have put together in recent years to look at economic policy as a matter of common European concern, and in particular the European semester. So we aim to better integrate the euro area and the national dimension in the European semester, and to do so with more transparency and less complexity. We will put more emphasis on social and employment developments, including by involving EU and national social partners even more in decision-making. And we will promote convergence by benchmarking and pursuing best practices. The Five President report recognizes the increasingly important role of competitiveness in our economies. The crisis revealed underlying problems of competitiveness and deep macroeconomic imbalances in euro area countries. Without the possibility to adjust the currency exchange rates in individual euro area countries, proper adjustment mechanisms are needed to identify and address competitiveness challenges early on. We are therefore proposing the national competitiveness boards to be set up in euro area member states. They would be independent bodies which would track, for example, how wages, cost, and other competitiveness factors develop within member states. On the fiscal side, we will continue applying the existing rules created by the six-pack and two-pack, but we need to do more to ensure full transparency. We are therefore setting a new European Fiscal Board. 5 high-level experts will work in full independence to provide advice on the implementation of fiscal rules and contribute to greater transparency. At the same time, we need to increase democratic legitimacy and accountability. We will work more closely with national parliaments, social partners, and others, and we will engage with the European Parliament in democratic debates on shared priorities. It is equally important to ensure that our voice is strong on the global stage. It would make sense to consolidate our position and to have unified stance internationally. So we propose to gradually develop a unified representation of the euro area in the International Monetary Fund. We propose that the president of the Eurogroup should ultimately represent the euro area internationally. Finally, in a short time, we have created a banking union that underpins confidence in our banks and safeguards financial stability. But we need to finish what we have started. In particular, we have to implement what has been agreed so far, the Bank Resolution and Recovery Directive and the Deposit Guarantee Scheme Directive. We need to reach an agreement on the bridge financing on the Single Resolution Fund, which comes into force at the beginning of the next year. And we plan to move towards European Deposit Insurance Scheme, building on a mechanism of reinsurance. And we want to continue to reduce risks in European banking system. The Commission will present legislative proposals on deposit insurance before the end of the year. And at the end of the day, people have to be confident that their savings are safe, regardless where in Europe their bank is located. All the measures I have set out can be worked on right now. But at some point, we will need a more far-reaching measures to complete the EMU, some requiring treaty change. In spring 2017, the Commission will set out concrete ideas to fully complete EMU, but reflections on the second stage of completing EMU must start now, and we want to consult broadly, gathering ideas from across Europe. Because our main challenge is to shape consensus for these more fundamental steps, not only among governments, but also among Europe's citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, a successful economic and monetary union is in the interest of all EU member states. And it is in the interest of all member states that we can deepen EMU, so we do not create new barriers towards member states that have not yet joined the euro. The European Commission is committed to keeping the process of deepening EMU transparent and respecting the integrity of the EU internal market. And I personally want that completing EMU will make the euro an even more attractive currency, also for those member states that so far have not joined in. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward for the discussion.
Thank you.